So the next thing I want to show you is how to get through the 141 things on your to-do list a little bit faster by using rules. So the first thing I tend to do is click on the word description. What I want to do is I want to organize things by the payee or the description. So right now I can see payee is blank, but there is a description. In Rachel land, for reasons that don't matter for this video, the payee should never be blank. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click anywhere on this line that is not the word add on the right hand side. So I just click in the payee box. It says vendor/customer, and then in faint text it says select payee parentheses optional. I'm just going to remind you that in Rachel land it's not optional. So I'm going to type in acuity scheduling. It's a vendor. My options are vendors, people we give money to, customers, people who give us money, and employees, people who are members of our team. I'm going to click save. And then why did I give Acuity money? QuickBooks is suggesting for office supplies and software, but what I really want to say is for scheduling. Scheduling's not on my list, so I'm going to go ahead and add it. I'm just going to click on add scheduling. It's an expense. The name is scheduling. I'm going to choose save and close. I'm going to ignore all the rest of this. I had it set up for a different video that I sent to somebody. At the bottom of my screen, where it says create rule from this transaction, I'm going to click on that hyperlink. So just like before, I'm going to give it a name, Acuity for money out. This applies in all cases. Doesn't matter how I pay for it. I'm going to change this to say bank text, and I'm going to delete the dollar amount. Right now, the dollar amount is $11. What if it goes up or it goes down? I don't want this rule to stop working because of that. I'm leaving the text as it downloaded from the bank in my QuickBooks. So when money leaves any bank account, when the bank text contains Acuity scheduling, so it might say more than that, but it definitely says at least that. I would like QuickBooks to do the following thing. I'd like QuickBooks to make an expense. I would like the payee to be Acuity scheduling. I would like the expense category to be scheduling. On the right hand side it says expenses, so now I know it's scheduling expense. I don't need to fill anything else in. For the memo, I'm going to type added by rule, and then I'm going to leave it as a manual review. I'm going to click the green save in lower right hand corner. Now I can see that there's 4 Acuity schedulings that automatically got its rule. So I'm going to click on the first box. I'm going to click Shift on my keyboard and click on the last box, and I can see I'm picking all 4 at once. On the upper left-hand corner, I'm going to click on the button that says Batch Actions. I'm going to say Accept Selected. So I'm going to do this with Adobe. So Adobe, and then software, and create rule. I'm going a little faster now because I think you have a good sense of what I'm doing, and I just want you to see how this can make things go faster. Added by rule, save, and now I can see all my Adobes are here. Let's say, for example, that I feel really good about this, and I'm like, you know what, I don't need to review the Adobes in my list. I would like it to just automatically add that to my register. I'm going to click on rules at the top of my screen. I'm going to find my Adobe rule. I'm going to go to the right hand side and click on edit. And then I'm going to scroll down to the bottom, and I'm going to click on this little slider bar that says auto confirm. I'm going to click on save. I'm going to go back to my banking by clicking on banking in the upper left hand corner. When I look at my list, I no longer see Adobe in my list, because I told QuickBooks to automatically add all those Adobes for me without stopping and asking me to review it. I can verify that by going to the expenses on the left-hand side of my screen and then down to vendors. I can type Adobe, and I can see all of my Adobes are right here. So you can see how just in a few minutes we went down to 129. You can see that by sorting by description, I can see which places do I buy from a lot and which places do I buy from periodically. I want to show you a different example. Let's take anchor listener support. Okay, so it's advertising and marketing. We're going to create a rule. Anchor. Going to change the description to big text. And now let's pretend that this is partially advertising and marketing and partially a subscription. So I'm going to click on the word split underneath the word payee. And so what I can do is I can say, you know what, every time I give money, every time money comes out of my bank account for Anchor, I would like it to split between two categories or possibly more. So let's call it 50% for advertising and 50% gifts. This is two arbitrary categories to show you something. There are definitely going to be cases in your business where you say, I'm going to pay for this out of my business, but it's 50% personal, or it's 50% office supplies and 50% shop supplies. Maybe it's 75-25. Whatever the case is, I want you to know how to split that transaction when you create the rule. So go ahead and click on save. So now it's splitting them. So if I click on it and I click edit split, I can see what's happening. Some of the money is going to go to advertising and some of the money is going to go to gifts. So when I look at my profit and loss, I see the $10 split among two categories. And then just like before, I can select them, batch actions, accept. So I'm going to do one more and then I'll show you something different. These are bagels. If you're in Bellevue, these guys have the best bagels. Create rule. Bagels. Bank text. And we'll just click save. Okay, so I want you to imagine a future where you have a bunch of rules in your QuickBooks. And so when you look at this list, this 125 things, periodically you'll see a rule and periodically you'll see something else. And it just becomes too much to scroll down and find your rules. If you don't click on this All tab, but rather if you go to the right and click on the Recognize tab, you'll see that this is where QuickBooks takes your list of 125 things or whatever the number is for you, and it separates the transactions that it knows what to do with it. All the things that you've entered before, and I think I know what to do, they're all here. And this gives you a chance to sort by payee, to sort by category or match, to sort by description, and just kind of eyeball it and say, yeah, this is good. And once you're satisfied, you can click the upper left-hand corner next to the word date, and then batch actions, accept selected. I wouldn't do this. I would go back and add payees, but pretend that I did, accept selected. And now pretty soon what I started with was 100 and some odd things to enter. And with just a couple clicks and a couple of telling QuickBooks to learn, I'm down to 37 things. So if you do a little bit of this each time you process your QuickBooks, you'll find that you're never spending too much time here. You're just taking a look at it, reviewing it for logic, setting up rules for the stuff where you buy all the time, but also letting the software help you. Help me help you. If you have any questions about bank rules or QuickBooks in general, please don't hesitate to let me know. You can reach me by email, you can schedule an appointment with me, or you can leave a note in the comments. If you have questions or ideas for topics for me to go over, please definitely let me know. I'm more than happy to help. Thank you so much.